So when I ask people how much they're contributing to their 401k, the two most common answers I receive are either, I don't know, or whatever the minimum amount is to get the employer match. I think it's pretty common, and most people just set it at that and then they never really think about it again. I think it's also a common assumption that that amount, typically around, 3 to 6%, will be adequate savings for retirement. But is this actually true? Will contributing 3% to your 401k be enough to recover your retirement expenses? Well, once again, it depends, but more than likely, it's not going to be enough to fund the retirement lifestyle that you're hoping for. So I want to walk through an example, and I'll be using the Smart Asset 401k calculator for this. All free calculators have their limitations, but for simplicity, that's what I'm going to be using here. So let's assume that at age 25 years old, you started a job making $80,000 per year. You consistently get a raise of about 2% per year until you retire at age 65. When you enrolled in your 401k, you elected to contribute 3% to your salary because that was the minimum required to get the employer match, and the employer matches that amount as well. Over the course of your career, your 401k earns an average rate of return of about 7% per year. Now, in reality, your returns will be higher in the early years and lower in the later years as you take more risk off the table as you age. But just to keep it simple, we'll assume that you earn 7% per year for your entire life. And you expect to live until age 95, meaning you will spend 30 years in retirement, 65 to 95, where you would like to maintain your standard of living. Ideally, you would like to be able to withdraw your pre-retirement salary from your portfolio after you retire, so $80,000 per year adjusted for inflation. Now, this scenario here is pretty common. Like I said, most people set their 401k contribution rate and then they forget about it for many years. So how will this pan out at retirement? Well, using these very generic assumptions, this saving strategy would only cover about 62% of your annual retirement expenses. So in today's dollars, that means you would only be able to withdraw about $50,000 per year from your 401k from age 65 to 95. That's $30,000 per year less than you were hoping for. Unfortunately, this just doesn't provide enough savings to replace your salary when you stop working. In order to replace 100% of your salary, you need to save closer to 7-8%. And that's assuming you don't want to increase your standard of living. If you imagine an active retirement filled with world travels, new hobbies, beach home, then this number would obviously need to be quite a bit higher. Or if you plan to retire earlier than 65, then that would also increase the needed savings amount. This is why I generally recommend saving at least 10 to 15% of your annual household income per year. This may sound like a lot, however, you don't have to start saving this much tomorrow. A great feasible strategy for getting to a 15% savings rate is by starting at 8 to 10%, then increasing your contribution rate by 1% every year or every time you get a raise. This gradual increase makes the burden a lot more bearable, and more importantly, putting away this much increases the likelihood of actually achieving that retirement lifestyle that you're hoping for. And as you can imagine, that lifestyle doesn't come easy. It doesn't come from just simply putting away the bare minimum into your 401k most of the time. It requires discipline, consistency, and sacrifice year after year. And the scenario I just went through is very generic and every situation is different, but I hope it conveys the importance of planning early and the importance of really being intentional about how much you're saving. The seemingly simple decision around how much you should put towards your 401k is probably one of the biggest factors influencing your future lifestyle. So if you don't know how much you're contributing to your 401k right now, I would try to log into your 401k account and find out, and then determine how much you should be saving. Ideally with the help of a professional. And finally, take the time to reflect on your why. Remind yourself of why you are making these small sacrifices today. I think understanding and reflecting on what really matters to you makes the sacrifice of saving today feel small in the grand scheme of fulfilling your long-term life vision. Well, I hope this is helpful. Have a great week.